Hey friends, hey, welcome. Let the truth be told. Truth be told by who? Let me hear you say it. Let me hear you say something. Let me hear you say something. By who? Who let the truth be told? Come on, say it with me. Boy, you know, who let the truth be told? Boy, you know, let the truth be told. You are tuned into conversation with Boy, you know, where I let the truth be told. Thank you for tuning in to conversation with Boy, you know. You are tuned in to conversation with Boy, you know.
Baby, you driving me wild, you driving me so crazy. Got me acting out, got me tryna stay sober. Wanted your love and I'm out here hungover. You made me wanna take you to London, Paris. Times will cherish. No comparing to you. Don't need Keisha, Karen, don't want Megan, Sharon. Girl, I swear that it ain't fair that all the pretty girls, they got nothing on you. They got nothing on you. Yeah, all the pretty girls, they got nothing on you. They got nothing on you. Girl, you know you cute. Girl, you know you cute. Girl, you know you cute. You's a pretty girl, stuck in a pretty bad world. Oh, you got the nerve, wearing that skirt up and grabbing your curves. If you ask me, you got that drip chocolate factory. All of these chicks coming at me, but none of these girls give in to you. Paris, make some times we'll cherish. Baby, there's no comparing to you. Don't need Keisha, Karen, don't want Megan, Sharon. Girl, I swear that it ain't fair. All the pretty girls, they got nothing on you. No, they got nothing on you. They got nothing. All the pretty girls, they got nothing on you. They got nothing on you. Girl, you know you cute. Girl, you know you cute. You know you cute. Girl, you know you cute. You know you cute. Girl, you know you cute.
Welcome to conversation. Hey friends, hey. This is your girl Boy, you know. Topic for today's conversation, I'm gonna be giving you signs of a manipulator. We all need to know because it is rare that these people are pointed out, and you need to know their signs, you need to know their quotes, you need to know their behavior, tendencies, things that they do unconsciously, unconsciously. You need to be aware of those things, and not to say we're gonna toss them out or trash them and not be bothered with them. No, they're human beings. So show love. We have to love one another, and that love can be direct or indirect, meaning it can be personal or it can be extended, because we all know there's different types of love, and based on the connection and relationship you have with that person, where the types of love is formed. And that's how you know if this person your close friend, if this person your acquaintances. I mean, we all have different types of benefits in our lives. You can't change anyone if they do not want to be changed. That is left with them to seek help for themselves. But what you can do is build boundaries. You can set boundaries with dealing with these type of people who are manipulators. You can set boundaries and still maintain a relationship with them, even if the person is your spouse, this person is your best friend, and this person is your relative. You can still maintain relationship with a manipulator, because like I mentioned, you're just not gonna toss them away and not be bothered with them and not deal with them. No, we have to interact with one another, and we all have different personalities. We all have different personalities, and we all come together. That's what makes this world so unique, and that's how we get along with each other. You all hear the saying that opposite attracts, which is true. Opposite attracts, because whatever type of relationship you may have, if you observe, there's always an introvert and an extrovert. Never an extrovert and an extrovert together. They're always the opposite. Either one is an introvert, other is an extrovert, vice versa. And in other terms, they're always an easygoing, cool guy with a fiery woman. It's the other way around. Outgoing, outspoken, or hot and energetic male with a cool, calm, reserved, and quiet woman. It's always, I don't know why it's like that. It's always been like that. It's an opposite attracts. And truly, to be honest, it's kind of fair. Because can you imagine both introverts together? Or both extroverts together? With that being said, let me tell you something. I used to think that the men who have a woman that is very fired, that's very like temper-headed, that's very outspoken. I mean, the ones that are extroverts and the guy who is an introvert, cool, calm, collective, reserved. I used to think that are secretly calling for help, because sometimes the woman can be a bit much and can get away with a lot of BS, a lot of stuff, because of the guy's character and his personality. He's cool, he's reserved, he's quiet, he don't like a lot of noise, and he don't like the commotion. So he would do things just to please the woman for his sake of peace. So the woman would now get away with a lot of BS based on his character. I used to think that those are the ones who need help. They need help. But truthfully speaking, because with all the hot-headed, temper, emotional outbursts, temper-headache, fire up, and they can calm down. And when they calm down, they'll realize, I was wrong. They will obviously come with a lot to justify their behavior, but at least they understand, I think I took it too far. Let me chill, calm down, and understand, and show respect, and show some understanding for the sake of the relationship when they're dealing with a cool, quiet, reserved, and an introvert. Women to be like, I'm doing too much, I'm over the place, and apologize and come up with some BS lies to justify their behavior just for the sake of peace and the sake of the relationship. Women do that. But on the other hand, the men who was the extrovert and they are with a woman that is cool, quiet, reserved, and don't like to talk too much, don't really like to get in your face. We need to check on our friends who are cool and quiet and dealing with this temper headache that is an extrovert. If you have a female friend and she is so quiet and cool and calm, and the male is the extrovert, he is the one that's fired up, he is the outgoing, he is the one that's take charge and all over the place, everybody know him and he's hot-headed, we need to check on that friend, because women in that condition tend to support him. She would do everything and anything to hide his behavior. If that means she will lie for him, she will lie for him. She will protect him. She will make excuses for him. She will justify his behavior. Of first instincts. So we need to check on our friends who are quiet and with a man that is an extrovert, because they are really going through it in silence. They are really going through it in silence. And just to say, this just brings me to my conversation for today. As you all hear my accent, I am Liberian. I was born and raised in Liberia, West Africa. So I was partially raised in West Africa, Liberia. So you hear my accent, and I choose not to get rid of my accent because I want to install my culture into my children, my generations to come. I really feel I truly, genuinely want to share my culture with my children. Major part of the culture is the fact that the elders are always right. They do no wrong. And y'all who very traditional, don't choke me just yet. Just hear me out. Just hear me out. So I'm not trying to take away anything from my culture. I love everything about my culture, but there are some things that need to be discussed. There are some things that need to be discussed because growing up with their mindsets is very, very dysfunctional and destructive. Growing up with that mindset is very, very destructive because we are taught as babies, we're taught to respect our elders. Oh, this person is older than you. Show them respect, regardless of. They're always right. Regardless, they're always right. You have to show respect. Not taking that away because a parent and a child is by no means equal. The parent is a parent, the child is a child. The parent made a lot of sacrifices. The parents are entitled to a lot because of their upbringing and the sacrifices they made for that child. So by no means I'm advocating for the parent and the child to be equal or a knucklehead with one another. But what I am trying to educate, what I am trying to communicate, the fact that a parent or the elders should understand that at a certain age, that child is mature. That child should be respected. That child should be treated as an adult for whatever decision they make, whatever decision they make at the end of the day. When you leave this earth, they will have to deal with their own mistakes. They will have to deal with the decision that they made. Yes, you can advise and you can direct, but you cannot make it mandatory. You cannot give the child an ultimatum, or you cannot just have the child behind you, neck to neck, feet to feet. That's just enslavement. That's an enslavement. And what I'm trying to communicate is the fact that the elders, they need to understand and accept the fact that when you're wrong, you're wrong. Not to say you should apologize to the child when you're wrong. No, don't do that because you're not trying to encourage disrespect. I get it. But naturally, think to yourself and be like, I messed up. I messed up. And that's it. At least acknowledge it to yourself that you messed up. That is enough. That is enough. I'm gonna give you an example. Like my mom, I can't remember the last time my mom ever told me sorry. Like, oh T, I'm gonna get my nails and you wanna come? Or, oh look what I got at the store. I saw this really cute. She would just be very, very friendly. That's how I know like she's sympathetic and she indirectly trying to apologize without actually apologizing. But at least that's a sign of acknowledgement. It's very destructive that with that mindset and not try to make some sort of correction and acknowledgement within yourself. Because as you get older and mingle in your adult life, that will be embedded in your brain. You're going to continue to think in that way. So for example, you're in a relationship and there's a huge age gap. For example, if the male is the oldest and the female is the youngest, the male will feel superior over that female because of the age difference, because he is older. And because of her age, she's going to feel like he's superior over her and she's inferior at all times. So even when he's wrong, she's not going to address it or even have an opinion on it, because if you are taught that way, that the elders is always right, it's just not going to, it's not even going to be corrected. And vice versa, if the female is the oldest and the male is the youngest, she's going to feel superior over the male because of the age difference. And she will get away with a lot of nonsense. She will get away with a lot because she feels as though because she is older, she is more wise and with wisdom because of the age gap. And he's gonna feel the same way, or because she's older, what she's saying is right, what she's saying have a message, what she's saying is true. He's going to feel inferior over her because of the age difference. Please understand what I'm trying to communicate to you. That goes directly into my message today. Manipulator. A manipulator, how can you spot them out? How can you know their tendencies? How do you know their ways, their behavior? What causes a person to be manipulative is 3 factors. It's based on 3 factors: fear, obligation, and guilt. Fear, obviously, the fear of being exposed. Obligated, they feel like they're obligated to things, or they're entitled to some things based on either their status, their age, or just based on how they feel about themselves. And guilt, they feel guilty, the fact that they are embarrassed by their shortcomings. They don't acknowledge it, they don't accept it, and try to work on it. They feel guilty. Like, for example, if they fall short on something, they feel guilty that they fall short on that thing. Instead of improvising on it and improving it, they feel guilty that they should know it. It's shameful that they don't know it. So their goal is to hide their guilt. So the 3 factors: fear, obligation, and guilt. Remember there: fear, obligation, and guilt. Number 1 thing that they are afraid of being exposed. They're afraid of admitting their wrongs. They're afraid of acknowledging their wrongs. They're afraid of where they fall short. Though they're human beings and we all fall short, do everything in their power to hide their flaws and not accept it, not accept the wrongs, but they will always justify it. They will always come up with an excuse. Oh, I did this because such and such and such. Oh, I did this because I felt such and such and such. Oh, I did this because they will always justify their actions. Always. A manipulator, very intelligent, very intelligent. That's the reason why they play on your emotions and you don't even know it. They are very intelligent, so they play on your emotions and you have no idea. They play on your emotions and it's nothing to them. They're not afraid. They're so used to, because they have gotten away with it all throughout their lives. Very intelligent, and they play on the emotions of their friends, their spouse, their relative, and whosoever that's connected to them. They will play on your emotions. They're close to you, so they know your weaknesses. They know you as a person. They are highly intelligent and they are very, very crafted. If you do not pick it up and build boundaries, you are going to be at their disposal at all times. Do manipulator apologize? Do they apologize when they're very manipulative? Do they really apologize to you? Yes, they apologize. They say yes. They will be like, oh, yes, they apologize. But what they are apologizing to is a reverse script that they have designed in their minds so that you do not catch up to them, that you do not notice that they are being manipulative. So they're only apologizing for the idea, not the message. So yes, they do apologize, but the apologizing is partial. It's not for what they actually did. then it's not for what they actually did, because they're not sorry for that. They meant it, they enjoy it. They only apologize maybe because of their behavior, but the message, it is not apologetic. So that means that they're not changing. They're not changing. They're going to be who they are until they leave this earth. And then you're wondering, what are the signs of manipulation? The signs are very, very simple. The signs are there: gaslighting and passive aggression. The signs of manipulation: gaslighting and passive aggression behavior. Those are the main signs. Those are the main signs, because if you can spot that out, you're on the right track. Now you're wondering, what is gaslighting? What is gaslighting? Gaslighting is when someone flip the narrative around and make you to be the cause of an action. Oh, you the reason why such and such do this. You the reason why such and such happened. You the reason. They flip the narrative around for it to make you the center of the cause of the problem. You the reason why she asked this. You the reason why he did this. You the reason why she did this. You are the reason. That is gaslighting. Whatever they're doing, whatever they did, the narrative is flipped around on you. You now become the primary reason why such and such action took place. That is gaslighting. It's not based on their own behavior, their own decision making, their own approach. It is all because of you. That's gaslighting. When they turn the narrative around, quote unquote, they are reverse psychology. They use reverse psychology on you.